Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, summer has finally come to a close. But on the bright side, summer 2021 was filled with some righteous jams that will last with us forever, especially if, like myself, you bought all of them on fucking vinyl. Hence, today's vinyl update video, and there truly is a lot of fucking vinyl. So let's not waste any fucking time, let's get fucking started. As per the norm with these videos, I will be showing off a slew of cool and sexy vinyl I have picked up in the last few months, the first of which is none other than Master of Puppets from Metallica, a legendary thrash metal record, perhaps one of the most important and influential ever created and released. I don't feel like I need to explain this record whatsoever and what makes it so magnificent, because there's a good chance that you already fucking know. It's on standard black, it sounds hot as fuck, so happy to finally have a decent copy on vinyl. It just fucking rules. What more do I need to fucking say, honestly? Next up, we have Terrifier from Pig Destroyer, and for obvious reasons, I am covering this particular portion of the record, because, you know, the internet is apparently very offended by nipples. Or at least female ones. Still don't understand how that works. Here's what I do understand. This record fucking slaps, and it happens to be pressed on a super fucking sexy variant, courtesy of Relapse Records. We got like a transparent thing here, with some white, with some pink, with some purple, a little bit of flicker of gold. Super fucking cool. At this point, too, I think I own most of the Pig Destroyer catalog on vinyl. I think I'm only missing the one that came after this, whose name I'm forgetting at the moment, and the Octagonal Stairway EP. Other than that, I own pretty much every record. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have a shock rock crossover comedy metal classic, Scumdogs of the Universe from GWAR. This actually just turned 30 years old this year, so happy birthday, GWAR, you big, beautiful, stupid bastard. I gotta say, I am just in love with some of this imagery on the inside. Like, just pure classic GWAR mayhem and fucking buffoonery. And the vinyl itself is pressed on this kind of silver, smoky thing. Very cool, very sexy. Been a while since I jammed this record, so I'd actually forgotten how many super tight songs were on here. Like, this thing is just filled with really silly, tongue-in-cheek lyrics and a bunch of brutal riffs. It's a really fucking fun record. I'm really happy that I picked this up. Next up, we have The Nightmare of Being, the most recent studio album from At the Gates, Swedish melodic death metal titans, embracing some prog rock and experimental influences on this record. Honestly, it's one of my favorite albums of the fucking year. This will very likely be in my top 10. I love everything about this record, and I especially love this exclusive variant from Decibel magazine, pressed on a tan gold vinyl. Very nice. Very fucking clean. Also loving this medium-sized poster that came with. Really get a good look at the artwork here, which is very fucking pretty. Just super pumped with this package in general. Anytime I order from Decibel, they always take forever, but it's always worth it because they just have some of the coolest and most interesting vinyl packages. Word to the wise, though, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you get a package from Decibel magazine, make sure you check it thoroughly, because I didn't, and as a result, I almost threw out these very cool exclusive flexi discs. All of which are super rare, one-of-a-kind singles pressed on a flexible vinyl. The first of which is from Bloodbath. The second of which is from Carcass. The third of which is from Satan. Having trouble holding these, thank God they're flexible. And the final being from Venom Incorporated, the spin-off of English pioneering black metal band Venom. It's fucking cool. I almost threw these out. I felt really fucking stupid. Like, I was literally outside my fucking apartment about to throw the entire box in the recycling bin, and then these, they flew out of the fucking thing, onto the fucking street, and into a fucking puddle. So, you know, I'm a dumbass, basically, is what I'm trying to say with the story. Next up, we have The Outer Limits from Voivod. This was recently reissued over the summer by the band themselves. It's one of their lesser-known cuts. This is kind of when Voivod is in their alternative phase in the mid-90s. I think there are some pretty solid jams on here, though. I kind of like the comic book sci-fi aesthetic. And I also really like this really cool vinyl. Kind of like a smoky blood red with some black wisp. Very cool. This is a very limited run, may I add. So if you consider yourself a Voivod connoisseur, I would recommend you grab this ASAP, because once it's gone, it is fucking gone. Also picked up California from Mr. Bungle, some super insane 90s avant-garde metal featuring Mike Patton of Faith No More, Tomahawk, Dead Cross, and virtually every other band you can name at this point. He is one busy motherfucker. It's weird, it's bizarre, it's funky, I love it. Pressed on standard black. We also got a slew of, like, classic rock records. The first one being Rocks from Aerosmith. Are You Experienced from Jimi Hendrix. And, well, I guess this last one isn't classic rock, but it's definitely not as heavy or as weird as Mr. Bungle. It's Lullabies to Paralyze from Queens of the Stone Age. All pressed on standard black. All sound fucking great despite that. Rocks in particular, I gotta say, is way heavier. Like, I know Aerosmith isn't a metal band, but considering the state of rock and, quite frankly, even metal at the time of that album's release in the mid-70s, I don't know, man, there's a lot about that album that's pretty fucking metal. Next up, we have Wild Hun from Lantlos, another one of my favorite albums of this year so far. Very exciting German post-metal, progressive metal, alternative metal with some shoegaze influences. It's very obtuse, very angular, but very lush and beautiful at the same time. I believe I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 in my official review, and I 100% stand by it. This is just pressed on a standard black, but the gatefold itself is very pretty. There's a lot of very nice romantic artwork on the inside, if it'll let me if it'll let me see it. Like, look at that. I unironically want this as a full portrait framed in my home. That is just really fucking pretty. And this ended up kind of sending me down a Lantlos rabbit hole, because shortly after I got that on vinyl, I also went ahead and ordered Neon. This is from their Black Gaze years. You know, pretty fucking rad. It's got Niche from Alcest on vocals. And this is pressed on a red vinyl, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Booyah. Nice bright crimson ruby red, may I add, which also apparently does not want to go back in the packaging. There we go. Well, kinda. I'll fix it off screen. And I also picked up a Gape, which, if I'm not mistaken, came out after Neon but before Melting Sun. That one I also hope to get on vinyl someday, because that album is fucking stunning. I think, thanks to Wild Hunt and thanks to these records, I can very honestly say Lantlos is one of my favorite bands right now. I'm just really digging everything that Lantlos is doing. Some more very pretty artwork on the outside of this gatefold LP as well. Very haunting, very evocative. As well as, I'm now discovering, a poster with the full album artwork, which I imagine is going to be stunning. Yes, it is. I fucking love that. Dear Lantlos, please do the same thing, but with the fucking gatefold from Wild Hunt. Please, I would love that so much. In the midst of receiving all of this Lantlos vinyl, I also picked up Colors from Between the Buried and Me. Unfortunately, did not pick up Colors 2, but I did pick up this bad boy. And this is also the remixed and remastered version released last year. And I gotta say, this album is even more stunning and wild and crazy and over the top than I remembered, particularly with this remix and remaster. I love it. It makes me genuinely upset that I do not also have Colors 2 on vinyl, so that I can listen to both back to back and basically just fuck my mind up. No special variant here, standard black vinyl, but honestly, do you really need a special variant? It's Between the Buried and Me. It's Colors. What more do you honestly fucking need? And now we have a classic record from Iron Maiden. I think you know which one, especially if you saw the thumbnail. It's Peace of Mind. It is just a banger from start to finish. There's not a single song on here that does not absolutely rock my goddamn world, even after all these years. I feel very comfortable saying that this and Number of the Beast are packed with some of Iron Maiden's most entertaining and exciting jams. I mean, don't get me wrong, all their stuff in the 80s is pretty great, but I've got a real fucking soft spot for this and Number of the Beast. The latter of which I also have on vinyl, but it's like a really old used copy, and I would love like a slick remastered copy more in line with this bad boy. Gotta say, I love like this inner flap where it looks like Iron Maiden is just sitting around eating fucking dinner. Just like, oh yeah, don't mind us. We're just having a family dinner. Sit down, have a drink, try the soup. It's fucking butternut squash or whatever. Next, an album I have been searching for on vinyl for so fucking long. It's Brick Body Kids Still Daydream from Open Mike Eagle. Some very cool, sensual, laid-back, alternative hip-hop. This was one of my favorite albums the year it came out. Open Mike Eagle is one of my favorite MCs and writers in hip-hop right now. And this is also pressed on a very nice bone white vinyl. Hell fucking yes. Thank you, Sonic Boom, for making it possible for me to finally have this. Fucking thank you. And speaking of hip-hop, I've also got some really cool records released earlier this year that I think are some of the best hip-hop albums of 2021. The first of which being Super What, the final collaboration from Czarface and MF Doom. Rest in peace, MF Doom, you big, beautiful bastard. I'll admit that this is not the most clever or ambitious material from either of these two, but you know what? These guys, even at their worst, are still pretty fucking good. Like, it's fun, it's simple, it's laid back, it doesn't waste its time, it's a great record, it's pressed on standard black too. I also noticed there was a variation, I didn't pick it up myself, but I noticed there was a variation that was like all black and white. I think the idea was that you can color it in, I guess. I don't really know. I will investigate. If anyone has it, let me know. Maybe there's like a special vinyl variant with it as well. I also picked up Sometimes I Might Be Introvert from an artist named Lil Simz. I feel comfortable saying that this is the best hip-hop album of the year so far. It is smart, provocative, it's full of real organic percussion and horns. It has kind of a 1970s jazz blaxploitation soundtrack kind of feel and vibe to it. The lyrics are very personal. I just really like everything about this album. It's also pressed on kind of a bright green, orange kind of starburst twirl thing. I really fucking like this. I actually picked this up literally yesterday too, and afterwards came back to the apartment with my brother-in-law, and he's kind of looking at the album from a distance, and he's like, is that supposed to be E.T.? Because I guess he thought that this was supposed to be like E.T.'s head, and I said, no, it's a black woman, and now that has become kind of a cruel inside joke here at the Metal Meltdown HQ. So, yeah, feel free to do with that information whatever you wish. Y'all have fucking weaponized Chompy and Slop That Gob and that one still of me with the Infinity Gauntlet from the Iron Maiden drinking game, so I've no doubt that you'll find a way to turn that into some seriously stupid shit. Also picked up Arrows from Red Fang. I believe I gave this a 3 out of 5, but a very enthusiastic one, and I stand by that. It's filled with some pretty gnarly psychedelic jams. I think the sound mix on vinyl could be a little stronger, a little crunchier, a little louder in my opinion, but, you know, it's a fun record to just kind of stone the fuck out to. And also the brand new Wolves in the Throne Room album, Primordial Arcana, which is very quickly becoming one of my favorite black metal albums of the year. I'm really, 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 really fucking loving this record. And I'm really loving the artwork, which I wish I had a full print of, and I'm also loving this Golden Nugget variant. Look at that. That is so fucking pretty. Oh, I also got this at Sonic Boom. Thank you, Sonic Boom, for this. This fucking rules. And that is the last of it. That's all the vinyl. I was hoping that the Torn Arteries box set from Carcass would arrive by now, the one with the fucking dinner plates and shit. But unfortunately, it has not, so I guess that is it for now. Let me know in the comments below what vinyl you've been listening to as of late, what vinyl you have been collecting, what you are on the lookout for. Press this button right here for updates on the Metal Meltdown immediately, in case you somehow are not getting them already. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.